We are in our own facility to discuss it. It's all right, big dog. It's all right.
That one hurt.
That had to him. It had to him. The man to my right is the Eagles' all-time rushing leader. So if y'all know loss, if y'all know pain, if y'all know agony, if y'all know devastation, if y'all know destruction, this person has lived it over the last 10 hours. I'm sorry.
You know where hurt at? Right here.
Right there, 2-5.
We had it, dog.
Had it and lost it. But here's the most important question. I hate to ask it, but every now and then you must. Who in the world? I mean, y'all buckle up for this one. I don't care if you're driving and listening, put your seatbelts on. If you at the house, sit back into your couch. If you at the job, don't tell your boss you're watching, because it's about to get good. Shady, who do you blame for the Eagles' collapse?
So much. Who do I blame? I'm gonna just go to this, man. Like the up and downs of a football game, right? I know you don't like that answer, but it's real. Yeah,
I'm not letting you off the hook for that one. I said the up and downs. The up and downs of a football game.
Listen,
highs and the lows.
Up and down, like just like this. It happens like that. People be married for 50-something years. How y'all do it? Up and down. We figured it out. Why y'all divorced? Up and down. So I'm going with that, and the reason why is because, first of all, Philadelphia, we win in September. That's what we do.
Sure.
The last time we lost in September was what, like 2021? That's what we do. We win games, okay? Yeah. So yesterday, I'm going to the turnovers, right? That last turnover kind of killed me a little bit.
The Hurts one.
The Hurts one, right? Let me tell you why. Because we needed 15 yards to get in field goal range, right? And one thing about us, Elliott, he knocks them things in.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
60 yards.
Now, and I'm not blaming Jalen, but I'm gonna say that's part of it. Okay, it's one of them. Another one is the turnover, or not the penalties. We had 9 penalties though. Some of these runs we kept talking about, the RPO this, RPO that. I love the RPO, but sometimes let's take the RPO tag off. RPO was either run or pass option. We had Saquon Barkley. He had 22 touches for 95 yards.
He was toting it.
Some of them plays he had a 9-yard run, a 10-yard run. They called him back. Why? Illegal man downfield. That means the lineman is past the line of scrimmage while he's throwing the ball. No. Let's just run the ball, keep on the ground, and let Saquon Barkley be Saquon Barkley. What else we have? And then I'm going to give some credit to Kirk Cousins. We all thought Kirk was kind of going that tank. Is he healthy? Is he not healthy? He looked injured. Last week he looked good against the Steelers. He came against us in Philadelphia, and he won that game, right? He had under a minute. He scored under a minute. So all I'm saying is we could talk about the defense because they didn't really play well either. We needed stops. They didn't really get them other than C.J. Gardner. So this blame game goes everywhere, though.
So what do you think the most important is?
Really quick.
It's all together, dog.
Can I say this really quick?
It's all together.
I could go last on this. Hey,
you should go now.
Hold on real quick. My boys, my family, they all watch the show.
Okay.
And one of their main takes out of the show, they say, y'all need Shady.
Of course.
My dog keeps it a buck. Every single time he gives it a take. His energy, he keep it 100.
And he really believes it.
Sometimes he really don't even care who it is. You lying right now.
He lying right now.
You're not keeping it right now.
Hey, he lying. James boys? Not real. Y'all know what's going on.
They know right now this ain't the Shady that they used to watch.
Say somebody. Come on.
Hey, we in the facility. They know in the facility this ain't the Shady they used to watch.
I gave it 100. You gave it 100.
You want more take?
Yeah.
I want a real
They don't care
take.
about what we think about the Eagles.
Who is to blame
They don't
Eagles'
care about us.
all-time rushing leader for the collapse? It was 21-15 with 1:34 seconds left in the game. The Eagles were winning in their house in the home opener. Who is to blame?
Like I said, seriously, though, the up and downs of the game.
I'm done with it.
Because y'all want me to say, Coach, I don't believe the coach made the wrong decisions. I don't believe that, all right? And then you talk about the defense. Yeah, they played well. But when we needed to stop, the game was stacked.
Then let me get to it, big dog. I play defense, obviously. A couple people are to blame. This person's blame never usually comes out of my mouth, but I will say this, and we have a close enough relationship for me to say it. Howie Roseman. There's a disconnect between the general manager, Howie Roseman, and the defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio. What do I mean? The Eagles do not have a pass rusher that can win by himself. As a result, the Eagles defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, he chooses to send pressure early on in the game. What happened when he sent pressure early on in the game? Darnell Mooney beats Chauncey Gardner-Johnson for the 41-yard touchdown. That was the only touchdown the Falcons had throughout the duration of the first 58 minutes of ball. So now with the minute and a half left, what does Vic Fangio do? He reverts back to his roots. Fangio does not like to send pressure. He likes to rush 4 and win with 4. The dilemma is Howie Roseman has not equipped Vic Fangio with the roster that can win with 4. Vic Fangio had the #1 defense in football in 2018 with the Chicago Bears. But who did he have on that defensive line? Chase Daniel was there, my brother was there. But he had Khalil Mack.
So good.
And Khalil Mack can win without having additional rushers. So with that being said, Vic Fangio does not have a roster that can win with 4, so Vic has to bring an additional player. As a result, the Eagles can't get home. When I'm looking at it, I blame Howie Roseman for that late game collapse because where's the elite pass rusher? Kirk Cousins is sitting there with the bad Achilles. If you can just have somebody win, but you acquire Bryce Huff for $50 million from the Jets. Bryce Huff had one 10-sack season. It was in his contract year. Do not trust a player who only balls in his contract year. Every player balls in their contract year. He got one 10-sack season in his contract year. Josh Sweat, I think Josh Sweat has the ability to be a great pass rusher. He has one 10-plus sack season. That's when the Eagles had their 70 sacks. Everybody and their mama was getting sacks that year. So I blame, and I rarely ever do this because Howie's my guy, but the Eagles' defensive line is not equipped to rush the passer with 4. But Vic Fangio's a defensive coordinator who only wants to rush the passer with 4. So then late in the game, Vic Fangio is doing what he only knows how to do, but Howie hasn't equipped him to do what he knows how to do best, and that is why you have a collapse. I'll break down the tape a little bit later, but that to me is
that's why you didn't give us your answer in the meantime. I didn't know you was going that route.
The GM, but the GM, I couldn't find Huff at all either last night.
But the GM, he drafted Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. They were nowhere to be found last night.
Correct.
Like, I think Jalen's great, but he was nowhere to be found in that pass rush. And we were talking about it, Shady. I mean, it's an okay offensive line for the Falcons, right? They're not great. Like, you'd expect Vic fits that scheme well because they do have the 4 rushers up front that need to get home. But at the end of the day, I'm going to go with Nick Sirianni.
Ooh, talk to me, Chase. I'm listening.
And there's a couple reasons. One, you started the show saying just how epic a big collapse it was. All right, I got community noted by Next Gen Stats on my take with the Chicago Bears with the pass rushes. All right, I'm not going to get community noted on this because the comeback for the Falcons is the 7th most improbable win in the entire Next Gen Stats era. They had a 0.7% chance of winning when that 2-minute drive started. 0.7%.
Not even 1%.
Epic collapse, okay? But I just go back to Nick Sirianni's decision. I think it's the second drive of the game to not kick the field goal. He goes for it on 4th and 4.
Twice.
Twice, okay? But kick the field goal. Like, I think that these coaches, and rightfully so, they get so enthralled with analytics. And they have a whole team around them that goes and says, hey, you know, it's 4th and 3. That's what they're saying. You got a green light. Like, go for it. At the end of the day, you got to step back from it early in the game. You don't know how this game is going. You're really at that point, the second drive of the game, you're controlling the game with the run. Saquon Barkley looked amazing from the start. All those RPOs, those penalties were called later in the game. So they were rolling. At the end of the day, just kick the field goal. And you take the points, and then it's a 9-point lead when he gets the ball back. And we'll talk about the third down play call as well. But at the end of the day, Sirianni's trusting analytics too much for me. At the end of the day, you just got to think about it from your mindset. Just take the points, man.
I think the blessing about this loss is...
A blessing.
Everybody gets a little bit of the blame. I think the blessing about that, like, you're not walking off this field like, dang, man, the offense got to do this, or dang, man, like, we all have blessings. Yeah, we all got to play better. So, Nick Sirianni, Kellen Moore, and the players. And I'm going to start with Nick Sirianni. I'm going to start with Nick Sirianni. You're not playing Patrick Mahomes, man. You're playing Kirk Cousins. Stop being greedy. You go for it twice on 4th down. That's 6 points. Good point. Kirk Cousins ain't lighting it up, going down the field, scoring touchdowns. Yes, the defense was not solid on the run, but they was not giving up touchdowns. They was holding them to field goals. They was getting off the field. Why are you not taking the points? Those 6 points at the end of the game, you know what that equals? A W for the Philadelphia Eagles. So I blame that part on Nick Sirianni. I felt like Kellen Moore at times when you calling these offensive plays, you could have been better. And we're going to get into a couple play calls. I felt like you could have been better. And then the players, right? I coach Little League football.
Sir, me too.
If we have a minute left in the game with no timeouts, we are telling our kids, do not give up this sideline.
Take the sideline away.
Take the sideline away. Don't go for none of these inside moves because it's okay if they catch it in there.
Talk about it, Jay.
Tackle him.
Talk about
and the clock keeps running because last time I checked, they have no timeouts.
They have no timeouts.
You guys gave up 2 plays, chunk plays, back to back, and just let Darnell Mooney get out of bounds. That was crazy to me. And I'm like, as players, I don't care what the defensive coordinator calls. I'm not putting that on the coach. Situational football. We go over it every single day in practice. Situational football. What we gonna do on third down in situations? No more situations. If the clock is against you, hurry up and get down so you can save some time. We go through all these situations. In this situations, the players weren't aware of the situation, and you just giving up the sideline and letting them get out of bounds.
Real quick, because where's the Nick Sirianni point at? Because I got the players responsible with the defense. What about Nick?
Nick Sirianni, I started with Nick. Okay. You're in the red zone. Your offense wins. Red zone. Okay. That's 6 points.
James, let me do, before we get...
I can see if it's Patty, though, Shady.
Before we get to maybe the most volatile discussion of the show, which is the debate about Saquon, let me build on James Jones' point, because what you will see in the facility is what you won't see anywhere else. The storytelling of why Vic Fangio, the DC, did not bring pressure versus Kirk Cousins. Why didn't he bring pressure? I was doing my homework. Y'all know I play defense for the Eagles. Colvin, go ahead and bring the plays up. Vic Fangio does not like to bring pressure, but in the third quarter, the Falcons hadn't had a touchdown yet. And what he does is he brings pressure. He brings it's a six-man rush. You'll end up seeing 7. And what happens? Chauncey Gardner-Johnson gets beat for a 41-yard touchdown. Vic Fangio has historically been last as blitz percentage in the NFL as a defensive coordinator. So now he's discouraged. He does not want to bring pressure. And the one time he did bring pressure, they just get 7. Okay, I'm telling y'all the story here. Now it's later on in the game, 1 minute, 30 seconds left. Kirk Cousins has no timeouts. He has to go down the field. Vic Fangio is not going to bring pressure because he doesn't like to do it anyway. And he was discouraged from doing it because the one time he did it early on in the game, he gets beat. So what's he going to do? Rush 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to rush 4. He's going to play cover 2 behind it. Y'all already know a 2-show right there. But here's the dilemma. You cannot, under any circumstance, take the cheese. What is the cheese? Chase, Daniel, James, Jones, what do they try to do to you with the game on the line if they know you're in cover 2?
High-low you. They're high-low in the corner. Send them back to the flat. They're sitting in the corner. It's like the day 1 install of 2 minutes. It's a corner. We call it a quail route. And if I'm this corner right here, give up the underneath completion.
Get it up.
Yes. Like, give that up.
Yes.
This safety is actually in good position. Okay, he's split the difference between the hash and numbers. That's where they want the safeties. He's a little deeper than the other one, but you got speed right there. At the end of the day, you got to back up.
So high-low him is what you're trying to talk about. This individual is high. This individual is low. They want Q, who is a rookie, to take the cheese. The cheese, very simply put, and I'm going to put it in yellow, is take the bait so we can throw it right over your head. That was the first chunk play.
Yes, James, really quick. Show the viewers what we want Q to do, though. We want Q to sink on this cover 2 and let this ball go to the flats right here. And even if he gets out of bounds, it's 5 yards.
So what James is simply saying is what you were taught is stay deep. Sink, 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 sink. So that when Kirk Cousins throws this ball, at least Kirk Cousins has to put air on it. When Kirk puts air on it, Reed Blankenship, the safety, can get out of the middle of the field and can break on the ball. That was the first dilemma. The second dilemma is this. If you see a little in football, you see a lot. But if you see a lot, you see nothing. Now they're simply going to be in roughly man-to-man. Q.
He's bringing pressure, too, right here.
He's got this individual. Essentially man-to-man. James Jones, my dog, was that a nice route? Was it? Talk to me about the route, please.
Yes, it was a nice route right there. As you can see, he did take the cheese, but Darnell Mooney is good, but he gave him that wop-wop at the top of the thing. He took the bait on the post, and we get outside.
That's a great point.
No doubt.
As a rookie's eyes were not in the right place. Your eyes should be on your man because that plays out as man-to-man. His eyes weren't on his man. Now you give up another route towards the corner of the end zone.
And it's out of bounds.
Doesn't like to blitz. He blitzed early. He got beat. Now he plays soft. The rookie gets beat. Chase, final thought.
Look, replay that. At the end of the day, okay, you just showed 2 plays, back-to-back, chunk plays in 2 minutes, which is the worst thing you can do as a corner to give up, okay? Quinyon Mitchell, he's a rookie. I'm telling you right now, Kirk Cousins came out of this timeout, or right before the huddle, and said, we are going to work the rookie. Work Quinyon Mitchell versus Darius Slay. It was a great game plan by Zach Robinson because he looked overmatched at times. And now you got, because they're in field goal range, you're playing more man-to-man coverage. They're bringing pressure. So you got to match up with the guy who I thought had the best game out of the receivers, and it didn't work out. So he's targeting him there. Make no mistake about that.
What were they in right there?
It plays out as man. Really, it looks like a one-robber.
It's one pressure. It's one blitz, and they're
man.
Why, Acho? Please break that down to me. Why are we not sitting in zone? Why are we in run robber?
Here's why. Because if you're Vic Fangio, you're just trying to see what the heck works. Okay, with 3 minutes, 28 seconds left in the third quarter, you haven't given up a touchdown all day, right? 2-5, you bring pressure, you get beat. Okay, now the first Kirk Cousins play, you sit in cover 2. Really, it's cover 6, but for all intents and purposes, it's cover 2. The rookie plays bad in zone, get beat. So now we're just going to essentially run what's going to be a pattern match, or you're going to be in man to chase his point. This dude, he's going to come down, take the back, you're going to be in man, and you get beat once again. You're just trying to see what the hell works.
One more time, because this play call is called. I was with Vic Fangio in 18 and 19 in Chicago. This play is called Bulls right here. And why it's called Bulls, he's blitzing the back. So he's hoping that the back stays in coverage and rerun it, because watch the top D and drop out. Okay, so they're rushing for, it's a simulated pressure. It plays like man, okay, especially down here. Okay, Quinyon Mitchell messes up. But that's why Vic Fangio's doing that, to try and eat the back up. But it looks like the back gets out and they slid to him, so they had him. That's like his number one call in 3-by-1 is, hey, blitz the will linebacker, drop the defensive end, so you give that zone pressure.
Now, let's get back to ball for a second, because we've shown you the defensive issues, but the defensive issues only occurred, Shady McCoy, after an incredibly pivotal third down call. It was 3rd and 3. 1 minute, 50 seconds were left. The Falcons had no timeouts. The Eagles could have run the ball, and they would have taken up another 50 seconds left. Thus, by the time the Falcons had the ball with no timeouts, there would have only been 50 seconds left. Instead, the Eagles make a decision, a pivotal decision. They throw the ball to Saquon Barkley. Y'all are looking at the play here. 3rd and 3. 1 minute 50 and change. 1 minute 48. Saquon drops it. Clock stops. Essentially gives the Falcons 50 more seconds left. Shady, speak on it.
So real quick, so let's say they ran the ball, right? Let's get this correct. If they run the ball now, they take it for 30 seconds, right? So,
it depends what
they have no timeouts.
Let's say no timeouts.
So there's
a minute 12.
You get it back with a minute.
Minute 10.
They get it back with
minute 10. Call minute 10.
Okay, so
they get it back with a minute.
So I do know that Kirk Cousins went down there and scored under a minute. He went down there and scored under a minute, though.
His drive,
so you have no issue with the
drive
play
was
call.
a minute 5.
Okay.
Game-winning drive was a minute 5.
Minute 5. However you want to cut it. A minute 5, a minute is 5 seconds, though. Right? And then everything I just showed on defense shows you why we should went for it and try to and win the game. Another thing is this, though, right? It's funny when I keep saying everybody, even y'all, complain about the call. The best player on the field is who? On both sides, on the Eagles and on the Vikings. Or not the Vikings, but the
Falcons.
The Falcons. The Falcons. Who's the best player on the whole field? Saquon Barkley, though, right? So if we throw that ball to Saquon 10 times, he's going to catch that ball 9 out of 10 times. I love that call. You want your best player to have the ball in his hands. They went for another time when he was short. He got the first down, but he thought he scored. His knee was down. But it was the first down. It was like 1st and goal. Same play. Same fake rollout. Hit Saquon. He gets down to the 1 yard line. It's the same thing. Okay, short yardage. We gotta get first down to win the game. They do the same exact play. He's open. It was a perfect pass. And we're talking about a 2-yard pass. We're not talking about no 15 yards. We just seen this dude last week against the Packers catch a 20-yard touchdown, right? And that was over the shoulder. So you talking about a 2-yard route. All I'm saying is Saquon Barkley is that good, and he talked about it. It's like, yo, I take blame for that, right? I should have won this game. I should have caught that ball and had a first down. I would do that play 10 times because I know Saquon Barkley would catch that 9 out of 10 times.
Issue with it, Chase?
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. At the end of the day, like Saquon and Jalen are both like, hey, it comes down to execution. But if you're the play caller right there and you're Nick Sirianni and you hear that play call come in from Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator, I'm saying, whoa, let's just run it. And I got a graphic here to show you and to prove it why I believe they should have run the ball. So this is Eagles rushes when needing 3 or fewer yards Monday Night Football. Okay, 4th and 3, check. 2nd and 1, 4th and 1, 3rd and 2, 2nd and 1, 1st and 1, 3rd and 1. These are all check marks on the rushes. Okay, so if you've done it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, why not do it a 9th time? Like just hand the ball off. And I think it plays more into a strategy standpoint of there's always that chance that a player could drop a pass. All right, so when they started that drive, there was 1:43 left when that happened. When Atlanta had no timeouts, they dropped it. That clock, 40 seconds, that goes to if they run it, it goes to 1:03 because of 40-second play clock. Then they're probably calling a timeout. They're kicking a field goal. Once you kick off, they're starting a drive with 1:01, depending if they squib it, a minute. That drive, it matters. That drive took 1:05. So in a quarterback's mindset in 2 minutes, you're always wondering, hey, all right, what's the situation? Anything under a minute with no timeouts, I'm telling you the stats, I don't have them, but it's just not good. Like when I was with Andy Reid, when I was with Sean Payton, we used to practice these scenarios, and you need these huge chunk plays when you're starting the drive with a minute 2, if they were to run the ball and run the clock, versus they started it with a minute 39. To me, I'm like, I don't got to be in a hurry there, so it changes the whole dynamic of that drive.
Real quick before you go, James. So we just showed all these plays on defense how in cover 2 and the rookie cornerback is taking their running back and letting the wide receiver get over top of him. So I hear what you're saying about the stats, but when we just watched the 2-minute drill, did it look easy?
I think Vic calls it completely differently if there's a minute on the clock.
Oh my God! And the next part, if I'm a team and my best player, if I might get my best player the ball with a 2-yard pass, why won't we take that?
Yeah. Take the chance out of it.
Yeah.
Take the chance out of my best player getting the ball.
Take the chance out of dropping the ball.
But here's the thing. My thought process is, at least defensively, I don't know if y'all say this on offense. Obviously, we're in the facility. We keeping it real. We call certain quick screens, now screens, et cetera, long handoffs. To me, that pass to Saquon Barkley, a long handoff. Why do I suggest that? Saquon Barkley, out of all the Eagles wide receivers on the team and their eligible receivers, he got the second most catches in his career.
Come on, man.
Saquon Barkley is a wide receiver. He has a season with 91 catches in his career. Devontae Smith has 95 catches in his career. My thought process is, to me, Chase, there's chance in every play. Because you could fumble on a run play. You could drop the joint right here.
Or you get a holding call. Because you get a lot of holding calls this whole game.
Saquon, to me, is just as likely to fumble as he is to drop that ball.
Hold on really quick, all right? Because you guys are gamblers.
Come on, man.
Right? You guys are gamblers, and I've lost a lot of money to you up here gambling because you know your stuff, right? My wife always tells me one thing. She says, risk over reward. That's what she tells me. What's the risk over the reward? You're already in field goal range, about to go up 6 points. Hand this football off. The risk of you throwing it is greater than the reward. Hand the ball off. You know what Saquon Barkley also does? Drop the ball. He got the second most drops since 2021 from the running back spot. You know what Saquon Barkley is elite at?
Running the football.
Running the football. Run the ball. The clock. You're not in this situation right here, Acho, because you play defense. You're not going against the Atlanta Falcons. You're going against the clock.
What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.